Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. Had a phone call. But yeah, this is very intriguing. This is a Boeing Flight School model. 1933 T3 Boeing School. Okay, yeah. Privately designed to finance all metal aircraft, tested advanced concepts from 33 to early 60s. My goodness. 36 years overall. Jeez. All metal monowing design. It's nothing that I would like to take into combat or anything, or perform advanced acrobatic aeronautical stunts. But it is very intriguing overall. Now, this museum, although it has several good replicas and rebuilt facilities as far as aircraft goes, it did cost $20 to get in. 18 on most days, but 20 overall per person. They do take cash or card. They might take traveler's checks too, but I didn't ask about that. No one uses checks really anymore. Jimmy Doodle Gallery. High Point Enterprise. U.S. bombs Tokyo, first time in history that Japan has been bombed. They say 9 planes shot down. Not exactly. Warfare is carried to Japan. Yankee airmen bomb Tokyo. Yokohama, Nagoya, and Kobe raided. Foe squeals. Assaults continue 7 hours, but enemy denies military damage, claiming 9 attackers downed. More bombs means more bombs for Tokyo.
They will then launch, bomb Tokyo and their other targets, and continue on to land in friendly remote Chinese territory. In order to ensure that Doolittle's bombers have enough fuel to reach the designated landing area in China, Hornet and Enterprise need to get the planes there.
Look at that model. Wow, that is quite the Enterprise. No, I'm sorry, that's a Hornet. USS Hornet. Launching the B-25 missiles.
We didn't pick it up on our surface radar. It was that small.
So they had to launch right then and there. There was no turning back.
Yep, USS Hornet. 16 Army B-25 bombers ready for takeoff, with 80 airmen led by Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Doolittle on April 18, 1942. First successful bombing of Tokyo in Japan.
April 18, 1942, at 8:20 a.m., the B-25 Mitchell bombers prepare for takeoff. This is the first time a B-25 has attempted to take off from a carrier in combat.
The aircraft wasn't designed to take off here, so
A rising sun must set. Bomber bombs. Give your support.
Once the bombers are speeding down the flight deck, there's only 2 places they can end up. With enough speed, they'll be in the sky. Too slow, they'll be in the sea.
taking off in a high wind, constant environment is obviously true.
I don't know, I guess I don't find this as exhilarating as I used to. It's because I've studied this so much. Oh my goodness. These are good models though. Wow, look at those models. Look at the detail. German Luftwaffe pilot's leather jacket.
Despite enemy flak, each plane drops 2,000 pounds of hell into the heart of the Japanese homeland.
bomber outfit, and we have a WAV uniform and NP uniform. Interesting.
Definitely a morale booster, not only for our servicemen, but for all of us. Time over, the enemy is a part of your homeland. It makes you feel like, you know what? You try to stop us, ain't happening. We're coming at us. Still the Japanese, and they weren't invincible. And we could reach out and each other.
Let's see. To all prisoners of war, the escape from prison camps is no longer a sport. Germany has always kept to the Hague Convention and only punished recaptured prisoners of war with minor disciplinary punishment. Germany will still maintain these principles of international law, but England has, besides fighting at the front in an honest manner, instituted illegal warfare in non-combat zones in the form of gangster commandos, terror bandits, and sabotage troops, even up to the frontiers of Germany. The Handbook of Modern Irregular Warfare. Eagle Squadron of the RAF per Ardua ad Astra. Western Aerospace Museum, yeah. This used to be the Western Aerospace Museum before it was rechristened the Oakland Air Museum.
There was something wrong with one of these silhouette. What was wrong with it is the flight deck was half covered with these big, strange-looking airplanes that were not painted navy colors, and they weren't naval aircraft.
There were 2 male uniforms on loan from Rendell Strauss of Oakland.
B-25s are here to make a bomb run on the heart of Japan. Target: Tokyo and other industrial centers around Japan. Objective: take out factories and munitions plants and demoralize the
So there's 4 figures, there's only 3 in this display. Represent members of the U.S. Army Air Force in World War II. Figure on the right has rank on major and dressed in his Class A dress uniform. Oh, that's this one right over here.
There was some revenge. That they wanted to get some back. You know, they were mad. And they weren't to stand for it then. and we
Pilot
don't
wings
stand
hidden
for
by
it now.
lapel.
You reach out and you hurt us, we're coming after you. And you know what? There ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Army Air Corps
Ribbons represent active service in both Pacific and European theaters operations, Philippine liberation, and Distinguished Flying Cross.
aircraft on which to trust his life. The North American Mitchell B-25B is a twin-engine medium bomber.
Figure in the leather flight suit represents a heavy bomber crew member during the early part of the air wars of Germany.
It's typically manned by a crew of 5.
Flight uniform consists of a B6 flight helmet with goggles and R14 headset receivers cord extension.
Range and power. B-25's modest wingspan of 67 feet.
You can see the headset
USS Hornet.
right over here. USGI long underwear is of the cold altitudes at high altitude in bombers.
They will then launch, bomb Tokyo and their other targets.
Type A oxygen, A/B oxygen mask.
Remote Chinese territory.
Right there, obviously.
In order to
Type
ensure
F1 blue electrical flight
bombers
suit.
have enough fuel to reach
This
the
whole thing.
designated landing area in China, Hornet and Enterprise need to
Leather and Sherling flight suit consisting of Type B3 jacket, Type A9 gloves, Type A3 pants, and Type A6 boots.
We ran across this little
And this whole thing incorporated. Type H1 oxygen cylinder and canvas case.
We didn't pick it up on our
Right
surface
here.
radar. It was that small.
QAC parachute harness and Type 1 chest chute. Over here.
The carriers are 650 miles from the Japanese mainland. It means Doolittle and his men might not have the fuel to make it out safely.
Let's continue on.
Go anyway.
Got a hot air balloon basket. Oh, the balloon itself is sacked in here. Okay, yeah. Sample of a family of hot air balloons designed by Firefly Balloons. The company originally started as the Balloon Works in 1972. One of the country's original hot air balloon companies include Raven Industries, Simcoe, and Picard Balloons. Interesting.
It's a 3/4 scale. Oh, the SW. This was really cool.
And see what we got over here. This is obviously an early racing plane. Notice the very unique twin tail. Yep, ER Coupe 415C. The Airco Engineering Research Corporation, very clever little name, was the first company to produce the ER Coupe in 1941 and missed World War II. Designed by Frederick, this was the first production tricycle aircraft. The very first. Oh my goodness, look at that, yep. And they did it very well too. Distinctive twin-tail design, originally provided with coordinated controls, i.e. the rudder was connected to the yoke and yaw correction was automatic. They had no rudder pedals. In this early technology period, that was very dangerous. You should have backups, but Steerable nose wheels was connected directly to the yoke. You taxied exactly like you drive your car. This and limited up elevator travel contribute to the result that the coupe is characteristically incapable of spinning. You can try, but the plane will fly out of an incipient spin. Equally, it is virtually impossible to stall. 110 miles per hour maximum speed, cruising speed 95 miles per hour. Numbers built 5,695. No, I'm sorry, 5,685. Sure, I can do math. Why not? Aranca 7AC champion. Mini P40. Kit Fox Classic 4, 1200 Tail Dragon. In '84, the Denny Aircraft Factory in Boise, Idaho, led by its founder, Dan Denny, designed the original Kit Fox as a two-seater that can be built in a two-car garage and towed between home and the airport. The Kit Fox Tail Dragon is the most successful kit aircraft on the market today. Oh. You can build it in one afternoon. Intriguing. African Americans in Aviation Gallery. In this epic story, World War II was an era of major advancements of blacks in aviation. And that's not me being racist, that's exactly what it says of blacks in aviation. During this period, many lives were sacrificed and heroes made, all under the difficulty of segregation and bigotry. And all these soldiers of the air were Americans first, proud to be black and proud to defend America against world tyranny. Not all of this history is about men only, it also includes black women. Bessie Coleman, Black 5 Birds, Colonel John Robinson, Charles Alfred Anderson, Colonel Benjamin O. Davis, Chappie James, Colonel Guyton S. Bluford Jr., and August Hardy Martin. All made contributions. All made their mark on aviation. General Daniel Chappie James Jr., first Black 4-star general. Captain Mitch Hawkeye Johnson, crew chief, Tech Sergeant James Cochran. Now, the story of the Red Tails. The real story of the Red Tails. Benjamin O. Davis, an autobiography, The American. African American Pride. Love it, love to see it. Tuskegee Airmen. Alameda Air Base, Sicily and Italy. July 4th, 1944, home of the 332nd Fighter Group. 99th Fighter Squadron, 100th Fighter Squadron, 301st Fighter Squadron, and 302nd Fighter Squadron. Let's continue on. I think it's also the main pathway here is made to look like a runway. 31 left and 13 right. West Coast aviation history comes alive at Oakland Aviation Museum, located at Old Northfield, Oakland Airport. Quail, ADM-20 Quail was a subsonic jet-powered air-launched decoy cruise missile built by McDonnell Aircraft. The McQuail was designed to be launched by the Boeing B-52 Star Fortress Sound Service, and its original USAF designation was GAM-72, GAM standing for Guided Aircraft Missile. Designed to produce a radar image very similar to that of the B-52 and fly at approximately the same speed and altitude, the Quail was designed to be used during an actual bombing attack to confuse and raise defensive radar network. Both quails and BC-2s penetrating the enemy's airspace, it would be difficult to distinguish one from the other on the radar. In order to fit inside BC-2's bomb bay, the quail was equipped with folding wings. During launch, the wings unfolded for flight. Range 400 miles, through a ceiling over 50,000 feet. Theater section. It looked like a commercial aircraft cabin in economy class. And yep, this is the HA-2M Sportster helicopter. Gyroplane helicopter. Okay, so it can land and take off as an airplane. Now that is intriguing. That's an intriguing path of physics. Unlike a conventional helicopter, the rotor blades of an autogyro or gyroplane are not powered by an engine, but generate lift by freely spinning on their own during a flight. The gyroplane engine generates forward thrust by using a conventional propeller. Huh. Sorry about the tilt of the camera, I'm trying to get pictures as well as talking here. McQueen Gordovich, MiG-15 BIS. No, the classic MiG. Made famous during the Korean War, especially. And early Vietnam era until it was replaced. Yeah, it hit the world like a storm when China entered the Korean War in November 1950. This is the P-51 Mustang. Yep, P-51B, a 3/4 scale replica. Can you continue on here? World Airways, interesting. The legacy of World Airways. Looks like a wing previously resting unused here at the museum has been artistically transformed into a new home for artifacts. Some gadgets, gauges, and guides needed for the myriad jobs it takes to run an airline from the ground to the sky. Look for flight deck control dials, flight compasses, photos of the World Air Center, World Airways Maintenance Facility, myriad manuals, and flight attendant guidelines and wing pins. See, unless you're into commercial aviation, this wouldn't really interest you too much. World Airways, okay. African Safari, Lucky Passenger. It's a wonderful time. Sometimes a lot of work, but good times as well. We were really family. Purchased for $50,000. It's really, really cheap. Even in 1950, to purchase a company for $50,000, jeez. The AC-4 is expanding the airline's original fleet of Boeing 314 flying boats. Continued to bring World Airways employees in dangerous combat zones up through Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003. In turn, dedicated crew members brought food to and performed rescue missions for thousands of civilians encountering such crises. Though offering low-cost tickets through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, since working industry fare wars, scheduled service lasted only a few years before World Airways can no longer compete with larger airlines. Although the company continued to operate charter flights, its heyday was over. World Airways closed its door in 2014, following in the footsteps of many other competitors. For World Airways employees and millions of people the company touched around the world, World Airways stood and still stands as a symbol of compassion and dedication. Interesting. See, we consider this to be an exhaustive route map back then, but nowadays this would only be like maybe 1/5 of the entire route map for a commercial airline. Like Delta, American, United would fill this entire spot with their blue livery route maps all over. Humanitarian flights to Tel Aviv, military flights to Kuwait City, Bahrain, Jeddah, Dubai, Isfahan, Tehran. Scheduled passenger flights to Istanbul, Cairo, Kabul, New Delhi. You don't see Kabul on many flight manifests now. I think the Soviets still go there, but that's what it is. Oakland Aviation. USA Resnick, Sally Ride, Mary Cleve, Dr. Ellen Okoa, Dr. Tamara Jernigan, Major Nancy Jean Curie, Dr. Margaret Reyes Sedon, Dr. Linda M. Godwin, Dr. Sally Ride, First American Woman in Space. Dr. Mary Ellen Weber, Mission Specialist, during 14 hours in space. Lieutenant Colonel Eileen Mary Collins, USAF, first woman pilot of a space shuttle.
In the 1920s, the adventure of aviation excited the world. Less than 20 years after the invention
Captain
of
Catherine
flight,
Coleman,
Forrest
USAF.
Gulmer's crisscrossed the
Marsha
United
S. Ivans,
States,
Mission
and
Specialist.
pioneers made flights of the impossible.
764 hours in space. Dr. Catherine Sullivan, Dr. Anna L. Fisher, Dr. Jen Davis, Dr. Macy Jemison, MD.
That year was the first time women pilots would participate in an air race across America.
As Kristen McAuliffe died in Challenger explosion in '86.
Participate in men's air racing until there was finally a race to call their own. Nicknamed the Pirate
Dr. Bonnie J. Dunbar,
Mission
Mission Specialist.
In lack of sleep, navigational challenges, sabotage, and even death.
Major Susan
These
J.
brave
Holmes,
women's
U.S. Air
studies
Force.
are great.
Mission Specialist, 460 hours in space. Dr. Janice Voss. What does women have in common? Oh yes, they're all doctors, specialists, or high-ranking military members who know exactly what they're doing.
Continuing the legacy of the Powder Puff Derby, teams of pilots have arrived from around the country at a small
UA
airport
First
north of
Officer's
San
uniform?
Francisco to compete in the Air Race Classic.
The Air Race Classic is a very unique all-women's cross-country air race. In some form or fashion, it's been going on since 1929. So it's
Southwest
really
Airlines
unique
Captain
to be
uniform
participating in
for
something
Captain
that's
Renee Sedell.
all-women pilots racing.
Our mission is to uphold the legacy of air racing. All women's air racing, back from the Powder Puff in 1929.
Careers in aviation, airlines and airport operations.
Air race in the United
Airport manager, crew chief, flight
Aviation
attendant,
is still making history regardless
flight
of
dispatcher,
the
freight and
country.
cargo
We already have
manifest
pilots that have flown
controller,
across the world,
manager,
record-setters, but
ATC,
this is still
safety
part of history that we're
inspection,
making, and we want to encourage that to general
RAM
public
services
so
personnel,
we can stay alive and keep this fun.
manufacturing engineer, fabrication engineer, machine operator, airframe or power plant mechanic, avionics specialist,
Female pilots of
aviation
today
medical
feel
examiner,
on their own
flight
pursuit of
physician,
air racing.
emergency services,
As
fire and
always
crash
been the
rescue, military flight medic,
In the
agricultural
early
pilot,
20th
aerial
century,
firefighter,
Oakland
air traffic
wanted to
reporting pilot,
challenge society's notion of what
commercial
women
airline
could
pilot,
and should achieve.
which you all occasionally meet, helicopter pilot, FAA flight instructor, military pilot, astronaut, aviation attorney, accident investigator, security specialist, meteorologist, engineer, aeronautical, aerospace, civil, electrical, computer, mechanical engineer. Now, see, what they don't tell you is that you have to go through a lot of basic careers first before you get into that, and a lot of specialized training. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but it helps they be upfront and honest with you.
Aviation to world locations. While air shows and air derbies attracted huge crowds, highlighting technological development.
Okay. Basic wooden aircraft carrier. That's cute. Very adorable. Obviously created by kids, but talented kids nonetheless. They're going to be, I'd say, very skilled engineers when they grow up, or architects, architectural design, that sort of thing. Okay, we are outside at the air park. Still the Oakland Aviation Museum. Let's see what we can find here. There's a few exhibits. KA-3B Sky Warrior. The tanker variant of the Sky Warrior. Okay. Navy's first strategic all-jet nuclear bomber, but the K designation means it was a tanker overall. So the fact that this massive beast lumbered off an aircraft carrier and back on is just astonishing. Yeah, see, you can tell it's a tanker because it has no hard points, and while it has a bomb bay, that wasn't really equipped with bombs. Now, let me reiterate, the original A3 Sky Warrior was, yes. But this is a KA3. Now, you can see the ducts for the refueling booms back there. And the main one over here. Accepted by the U.S. Navy in December of 1960. Aircraft was built to A3D2 specifications, but was converted to KA3B configurations at NARW rework facility NAS Alameda in June of 67, then missed to Vietnam. In January 68, the aircraft was again reconfigured, this time as EKA-3A. The station throughout its service career at NAS Alameda, NAS Whidbey Island in Washington State, El Segundo, and aboard the USS Coral Sea escort carrier, USS Constellation, USS Kitty Hawk, USS Midway, USS Ranger, and USS Orsini. Lieutenant Commander Frank Burroughs earned the Distinguished Flying Cross on this aircraft for remarkable airmanship that saved the crew and the aircraft. That's why it has Bombay. The EA-3 is the electronic warfare variant, but it was not uncommon to carry anti-air missiles or bombs at the time as a secondary. Refueling boom. Killer 12V helicopter. And of course we have the Grumman F-14A Tomcat. Pratt & Whitney J57 turbojet engine. Military applications designated J57. Douglas A3 Skywarrior, which we just saw over here. The Douglas F-4J Skyray, Boeing B-52 Stratofortress, currently being re-engined. North American F-100 Super Sabre, part of the Century Series. McDonnell F-101 Voodoo, part of the Century Series. Convair F-102 Delta Dagger, part of the Century Series. Boeing C-135 Stratolifter. Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker, still in service. Lockheed U-2 Dragonfly. And Martin B-7 Canberra. And lastly, the Vought F-8 Crusader. Some versions had afterburners, increasing overall performance necessary for fighters. Civilian applications, designated JT-3C, Boeing 707, 720, and Douglas DC-8. Now you'll see the Japanese rising sun here. That does not mean the F-14 Tomcat here was a member of the Japan Air Self-Defense Forces or anything ridiculous like that. No. It means they were part of the squadron VF-111, I believe it was, called the Sundowners. They earned their marks as a turboprop or propeller fighter squadron in World War II, fighting against the Japanese in the Pacific. You know, Japanese banner, rising sun, sundowns. Yeah, that sort of thing. Oh, here we go. USS Coral Sea, A6 Intruder. This is the KA6, actually. Yeah, Grumman KA-6D. Intruder. KA-6D tanker aircraft, yeah. Our aircraft was changed to KA-6 destination from her original A6A. Yeah, designation would be better fit. Condition in 1968 in the midst of Vietnam and served with distinction on many Westpac cruises and carriers, such as USS Coral Sea, Midway, and Constellation. 901 servicemen sailed from San Francisco on the Coral Morrow on March 9, 1973 to participate in Operation End Sweep, charged in clearing mines from the shores of North Vietnam. Part of CVW-15, VN-95, was flown by Lieutenant Dave Cohen and Lieutenant Mike Kent. She also supported operations in Cambodia and others in service until retired to NAS Alameda in the early 90s. Washing and de-icing a propeller plane Hollister aircraft. LTV A7 Corsair 2. Air-based subsonic light attack aircraft designed to replace the A4 Skyhawk. Based on the successful supersonic FA Crusader. That's why the Corsair and the Crusader 2, or Corsair 2 and Crusader, are based on the same rough design. This is also nicknamed the Last Gunfighter. Because if you notice, right here, yeah. 20mm Vulcan cannon. Move on. It was nicknamed Last Gunfighter because it was the last aircraft primarily equipped with guns. Not the last aircraft equipped with guns, the last aircraft primarily equipped with guns. McDonnell Douglas TA-4J Skyhawk supersonic trainer. Is it? Yep, astronaut Susan Kilrain, pilot of 2 space shuttle missions and a former U.S. Navy jet pilot, was a flight instructor in 1987 in a TA-4J Skyhawk similar to this one. Steve Cardiff, BOAC, Boeing Overseas Aircraft Corporation. North American Saberliner is the first mid-sized business jet ever developed and was offered to the U.S. Air Force in response to utility trainer experimental or UTX program. Due to the similarity of the wing and tail to North American's F-86 Sabre, it was hence dubbed Saberliner. This specific aircraft was a CT-300A, bird number 60-3504. At one time in her history, she carried a one-star general with the star on the headrest inside the main cabin. I have to go inside for that, okay. So the country used T-39 for the aircraft fleet, including Ecuador, Mexico, and Bolivia. Bolivia is a presidential transport. Okay. Unfortunately, that is it for the museum. I wish I could show you more, but that's about all they have, really. I didn't skip a thing for you guys. I am going to call my Uber and head back to the apartment and get some food. Take care now, and I'll see you there. Hope you enjoyed the Oakland Aviation Museum here in Oakland, California, on the grounds of the Oakland International Airport. In 1880 to get in. Open from 10 to 5, Monday through Saturday. I will see you there. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more.